is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, payday came today for the displaced workers of the Treasure Bay Casino in Lucaya. The journey toward this final severance payout had its share of hiccups, but today workers were pleased to receive their checks. Megan Shepard has more.
The final payout was initially planned for Tuesday, February 21st, but the process encountered some challenges and the distribution of checks had to be delayed by 2 days. An announcement from the Ministry of Tourism has confirmed that the funds for the displaced casino staff would be calculated in accordance with the Employment Act. General Manager of the former Treasure Bay Casino, Craig Turner, says so far the payout process has been rather smooth.
We started late yesterday afternoon. We will hopefully continue this process today until all employees are completely severed according to labor regulations and the company's procedures. So once that's done, we will wait for final word from any new investor coming in, where the employees can then re-sign or reapply for employment. So until that time, we will just wait for further instructions.
Payments began Wednesday evening and continued early Thursday morning. Employees lined up bright and early at the property and were ushered in one by one to ensure that the process went as orderly and accurately as possible.
Well, we would have gone through about 60 persons last night, and we have some 70-odd persons to go today. Hopefully that will continue and be flawless. We will stay until about 4:30, 5 o'clock today. Hopefully everybody would have been notified through whatever communications there were available at the time. Because as you know, persons have been scattered after looking for other employment. But we intend to stay here until about 5 o'clock today, and we will also be on property for persons who have yet to make it to pick up their severance packages.
Now, the Treasure Bay Casino was forced to close its doors after sustaining damage following Hurricane Matthew in October of last year. The displaced workers have been invited to apply for employment with new operators who are expected to reopen the casino in April. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
In other news, tourism's finest to be honored during the Cacique Awards on April 8th at the Bahamas Convention Center on Cable Beach. Now, there are 110 nominees for the 18 categories, representing more nominees than ever before. Nominees for the Minister's Award from the North are Antoinette Brownroll of Bimini, Wilfred Solomon, and Ethelyn C. Major of Grand Bahama. For sports and leisure, Neil Watson's Bimini Scuba and Lincoln Jones of Abaco. The nominees for the special events include Abaco's Island Roots Heritage Festival and Abaco's Love Rush Junkanoo Parade. Grand Bahama's Evelyn Pinder Dames and Della Bridgewater for Human Resources Development. Abaco's Friends of the Environment and Keith Cooper of Grand Bahama have been nominated for Sustainable Tourism. Rogana Wilshcombe and Vernetta Frith from West Grand Bahama for Handicraft. 2 new categories have been added this year, the Blue Ribbon Panel Award and the Wilfred Willie Love Knowles Tourism Awards. Educational researchers, practitioners, and policymakers meeting on Grand Bahama over the past 2 days for the Education Research Conference. The discussion focused on rethinking education through a culturally responsive approach. Natalia Hall reports on opening night.
Educators, researchers, practitioners, and policymakers all turned out for the opening of the University of the Bahamas 2017 Education Research Conference at the Grand Lucayan Resort. The purpose of the conference to enhance student achievement in the country by teaching educators the importance of culturally responsive teaching and research. The theme, Rethinking Education Through a Culturally Responsive Approach. Interim Vice President Dr. Coralie Kelly says, every word in the theme is significant.
Think about those words and see how revolutionary the concept is. Okay, rethinking. How many times have you needed to rethink something? Can you imagine the decisions that we would have made, the better decisions, if we would rethink? Education. Well, that's what we're supposed to be about, and that's what's supposed to be there to make this society what it is.
District Superintendent of Education Mary Cooper says this generation of educators must remain abreast of the latest research and technology.
The future of education is deeply infused with technology. Rethinking education through a culturally responsive approach can be the catalyst for the paradigm shift that is needed in our country.
Dr. Geneva Gay, author and professor of multicultural education at the University of Washington, Seattle, also addressing the conference. Gay says a number of countries have proved that cultural responsiveness is effective.
And it's effective for different populations of students, different contexts in school situation, and also for different kinds of performances. Not just academic performance or academic achievement, that goes up with cultural responsiveness, but so does other kinds of things. For example, even teacher gratification with the jobs that they're doing increase as a result of doing culturally responsive teaching. So when we talk about this, it is not just for the benefit of the students, that's important, but educators benefit as well.
President of the University of the Bahamas, Dr. Rodney Smith, says their jobs do not stop here. Now that the institution is at university status, he says the university is now working on other improvements.
We've started our accreditation process with NACOB, the National Accreditation and Equivalency Council of the Bahamas. We've started our SACS accreditation, Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, Commission on Colleges. We are migrating all of our data to a banner data management system for every aspect of the entire university.
The conference will close out with a tour, which will include historical and signature landmark stops from Freeport to West End. Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us, the Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition continues right after this.